If I was to ask you to define a sexually confident person, my guess is that you'd say something like, well, it's somebody who knows what they want, um, who knows how to get it, who knows what to do, but that's not me. So we can know in a way what a sexually confident person looks like, but how do we make ourselves into that person? It seems to me that there's several aspects to it. The first is that we need to say, who am I as a sexual being? So very often we have quite performative ideas of what we should be like, what we should appear to be when we're intimate with somebody. And often that leaves us with very little scope to understand our own sexual nature. And bodywork is very helpful in that regard. It's receiving loving touch in a safe and boundaried environment where you can just relax and be present with whatever arises. And so you're not in that quite stressful, performative state, full of expectations that very often dramatically diminish our sense of ourselves as sexual beings. The second question you need to ask yourself is, what do I like? Now, there's a conventional narrative which says that sex is natural, and that if it's not natural for us, that's because we're experiencing obstructions to it because of trauma, because of conditioning, and that sort of thing. And if we identify the trauma, we identify the blockage, and we remove it, then our sexuality will just flow naturally. That's bullshit. The fact is, we all have individual sexual natures and individual sexual preferences, and it does nobody any favours to think that we all essentially have this one sexual nature once we're liberated from our inhibitions. It's not true. So what we need is to work out what we like and what we don't like. That entails experimentation, opening ourselves up to various ways of looking at sexuality, so play, tantra, lots of different approaches, and we can see what works for me. And the third aspect of sexual confidence is, how do we relate to other people? So often that's understood as being, when I'm with somebody, I need to know what to do. So we pick up ways of acting with other people, which aren't really authentically ours, but which we think is the right thing. So what we require to do is to understand how we can relate with other people in a way which brings out our nature and our sexuality, and we're not trying to contort ourselves into an idea of what we should be like, how we should be, how we should perform, and so on. And I think there's often a mistake that we make, that we We know, for instance, in terms of touch, what sort of touch we like. I think we very often know what sort of touch we don't like, but somehow we're not able to ask for what we want. And in a way, we don't ourselves really know what we want. So one of my clients was saying that she often gets irritated when she asks for touch from her partner, and her partner touches her in a way that isn't what she wants. But she can't describe what she wants, even to herself. She can recognize it if she experiences it, but she can't actually describe it. So we need to widen the language that we use to talk about our desire and how we connect with other people. And that's not primarily a language of engineering, a bit softer, a bit harder, a bit slower, a bit faster. It's a language which needs to involve all of us. So we need to explore what it's like to express our desires in wider terms than the dominant model that we have at the moment. So all of these different aspects of sexual confidence are all aspects of my work. So if any of it sounds interesting, please contact me.